Ciro Messi's life isn't what you think it is. For years, Lionel Messi has been hiding details about his youngest kid, but now it's all out in the open. And these are the 7 times Ciro Messi shocked the world. And first up, he made us believe he didn't even exist. Back in 2018, Ciro's dad Leo was involved in a controversy that was rocking football. See, at the time Messi had serious issues with tax laws that he hadn't settled, and the whole thing was starting to get really ugly. Thing is, the Spanish laws are heavy on tax payments, and a couple of the world's biggest stars playing in La Liga, like Messi and Ronaldo, hadn't been paying their taxes. And now the courts had found out. They were on the brink of bagging jail time. For Messi, the whole thing was ruining his public image because everyone had always seen him as that shy dude who always did the right thing and never got into trouble. But now this was out in the open, the courts were threatening to send him to jail. It was so crazy that Messi's PR was getting affected, because online people started calling him out for not doing the right thing and paying tax. And that's when this crazy allegation came out about his kid that was rocking everywhere. Ciro was born on March 10th, 2018, but at the time very little info existed about the kid. In most of Messi's family photos back then, Ciro wasn't in the pictures. And even the social media posts online, there was no mention of Ciro too. And that's when people started suggesting that Messi and his PR team came up with the idea of Ciro so it could distract them from the tax scandal. I won't lie, I kinda almost believed this one until it became so crazy that Messi's wife Antonella had to come out and clear the air. And that's when she revealed why no one had seen photos of Ciro. According to Antonella, the reason was because Ciro was still a baby back then, and he always fell asleep much faster than the others. And because they didn't want to disturb him during his nap and have him throwing a tantrum everywhere, they just let him sleep and took the photos without him. This one checks out because ever since, they've been uploading photos of Ciro with the family too. And now they've made it public that he's part of the family. They've also made it public about his biggest addiction. Even though he's still a kid, Ciro's living the ultimate dream because his dad is Lionel Messi, the GOAT, one of the most famous athletes on the planet. And he's so rich that Messi can afford anything. According to Forbes, Messi has made $1.15 billion in his career so far, thanks to his hotel chain, real estate deals, and brand partnerships. Damn, that's more than the national budget of Mexico. When you're that rich, guess you can afford anything for your kids. And that's why Ciro's already got an expensive addiction: Disney. On his 2nd birthday, the kid was so obsessed with Disney that he asked for a Disney-themed birthday party. When I was 2, the biggest thing I got was cake from my grandma. Turns out Ciro's love for Disney spread into the family because now his brothers Tiago and Matteo also love Disney. And together they've been able to convince their dad to take them to Disneyland in Paris multiple times. To be fair, it wasn't a long trip from home, and that's because the Messis lived there. In fact, Ciro probably fell in love with Disney because he could see the place from his bathroom. In 2021, Barca was in an economic meltdown that was threatening to ruin the club. Some dudes had been shady with money, and now it was out in the open. The reality was that Barca was broke and couldn't afford to pay Messi's wages. So they had to come to the ultimate decision, and the only way to save the club was if they let Messi leave for free. In the end, Messi had to go, and after that tearful press conference that shocked football, he and his family moved to PSG in Paris and began living there. Now, Disneyland is also in Paris, meaning Ciro's addiction is excusable. The kid just loved the stuff he was seeing from the outside. Although looking at the photos of the Messis at Disneyland, I'm not so sure Messi loves the place. And it's not that he hates the rides, because he's so famous, people recognize him everywhere he goes, including Disneyland. And even though he was there to just have a good time with his family and all, fans ended up ruining the moment for him, meaning he had to hide and wear costumes. Thankfully, Disneyland is just one of Ciro's addictions. And his next one is pretty cool because it allows Messi to be his real self. Football. This one's easy to see why. Messi's the GOAT. Over 700 career goals, 34 trophies, and 8 Ballon d'Ors. And his trophy cabinet is crazy. He also got the most goals in La Liga and the most assists in football history, but the moment that made Ciro fall in love with football was last year's World Cup. And this one was damn special. Just before the start of the tournament, Messi had announced to the entire world that this World Cup was going to be his last. And to some people, this was added pressure. Messi had gotten to the final before in 2014, but at that time, Ciro wasn't born yet, not even Matteo. And the oldest of all his kids, Tiago, was only 2 years old. Unfortunately for Messi, this final didn't turn out great because Messi and his Argentine team lost 1-0 in extra time. And after that, it was more international heartbreak for Messi. He lost 2 more Copa America finals in 2016 and 2017, and the defeats became so much that he decided to retire right after. But the fans were convinced that Messi was the guy that'll lead them to their first international trophy since 1986. So they begged him to come back, and finally in 2021, against the odds, Messi won the Copa America in Brazil. The moment was beautiful, but it wasn't complete because due to COVID lockdown restrictions, Messi's family had to watch this one from home. So now he was having his final attempt at the World Cup 1 year later, and the COVID bans had lifted. His family was in attendance to watch him try for one final time, and he didn't disappoint. Messi bagged 6 goals in the competition to lead Argentina to a final victory over France on penalties, and win the entire thing. Ciro watched every game with his mum and siblings, and that was enough to make him fall in love with football. But Ciro's still young, and I'm not sure he knows what his best position is yet, because every time I've watched him play, he always gets fouled, especially by his dad. Was that a foul or a dive? I don't know, but either way, Ciro just loves the game, and every chance he gets to play, he'll take it, even if it means getting two-footed by his older brother. Where's the love in that? Ciro's brother Matteo is a savage, and now his attitude is starting to rub off on Ciro, because a few months back, the kid was trolling his dad's biggest rival. That World Cup win for Messi was more than just a football win, it was the end of an era. A couple of days before the start of the World Cup, after Messi had announced that this was going to be his last World Cup, his arch-rival Cristiano Ronaldo also announced that this was most likely going to be his last one too, and it sparked a debate around the world. To some people, Ronaldo has always been copying Messi, man. He's stolen a couple of his goal celebrations in the past, and right after hearing that Messi had subscribed to Mr. Football, Ronaldo did the same thing and hit that subscribe button as well. Coming into this World Cup, it now had added pressure because on the international trophy scorecard, both GOATs were level. In 2016, against the odds, Ronaldo inspired his country to win the Euros and a major trophy for the first time in their history, and the Nations League in 2019. And in 2021, Messi won the Copa America and the Copa Finalissima a year later in 2022. So both GOATs were tied. Unfortunately for Ronaldo, he didn't have the tournament he'd hoped for because Portugal got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Morocco, and that image of him crying and leaving the stadium one final time was sad enough. But Ciro didn't give a damn. See, Ciro had probably heard what the trolls did whenever they compared his dad to Ronaldo, and even though he was still little, it must have gotten to him. So after winning the World Cup and ending the debate in 2022, Messi and his family went on a skiing holiday, and I guess that World Cup hangover win was still in full flow, because when it was time to take pictures, Ciro dropped a subtle reminder of the scorecard, that his dad had edged this one. Even worse, some fans believe Ciro was taunting Ronaldo by dropping the scoreline of his match against Morocco, and other fans believe he was doing it to get Ronaldo's reaction. Who knows, maybe deep inside, Ciro's actually a Ronaldo fan. This one sounds crazy, but just hang on a bit. Now, Ciro really loves football, but recently I've seen him pull moves that his dad never did before, at all. In case you didn't know, all 3 of Messi's kids are in the academy. Well, technically that is. Ciro's older brother Thiago, he's the captain of the Inter Miami under-12s, and his brother Matteo plays for the under-8s. Ciro's 5, so he hasn't linked up with his brothers at the academy because of his age, but he will soon because the kid's talented. According to Messi, Matteo is the most talented of the 3, but that's because no one had seen Ciro play yet. Until recently, when a clip of him doing a crazy skill move went viral, that's making many people think Messi's made a mistake. Now, apart from training in the academy, Messi's kids are also lucky enough to get trained by their dad, because every time he gets the opportunity to, he's playing kickabout with them. On her socials, his wife and Ciro's mum, Antonella, regularly posts clips of Messi playing with the boys, and this one time she posted that video of Ciro pulling off an insane 5-star move. Messi and Ciro came to watch Thiago's under-12 side play, and after the match, they went to a free pitch to practice two-touch. And Ciro must have been feeling it because this one time, he took his game up a notch and left his dad stunned. A bicycle kick goal against his brother Matteo. Even Messi was impressed, and that's probably because despite all the crazy goals he scored in his career, he hasn't hit something as impressive as that. I'm just saying, man, I haven't seen Messi score a goal like this before, but there is one guy I've seen pull this off on the biggest stage. Who knows, maybe deep down, Ciro's a Ronaldo fan. Scoring bangers like this is always gonna get you on your dad's favorite side. And Ciro's made his dad love him so much, he's going to shocking lengths just to prove it. His name is tattooed on his dad's body. Messi's body is like a work of art now, a football temple. He's got 18 tattoos all over his body, but they're not just there for fancy because each one of them has a deep meaning attached to it. Messi's also got the names of his family on his body as well. In 2012, when Ciro's older brother Thiago was born, he got a leg tat of Thiago's hands imprinted on his calf. And in 2015, when Matteo was born, Messi got his name tattooed on the same calf as Thiago, and did the same for Ciro as well. Messi's also got the birthdays of Ciro and his brothers tattooed, and his name is a tat both Messi and Antonella have on their upper bodies. That's real love right there. Messi's using his ink art to show Ciro how much he loves him. And when you've got a dad showing you that much love, you'd do anything to protect, include fighting the guys who tried to piss him off. In whatever you do, don't get Ciro mad, else he'd take it personally. Just ask the Orlando City fans. These days, Messi plays in the MLS for Inter Miami, and a couple of months back they had a match against Orlando City that was pretty heated. The tackles were flying from all angles, and even Messi, who's usually calm during games, got involved too. Whoa, Messi wasn't even going for the ball, he just wanted to take out that guy. The game finished with both teams almost getting to a fight, and at full time after they left the pitch, Ciro and his brothers were allowed to have a little kick about before they left. But see guys, Ciro had watched the game from the stands and he wasn't happy with the way Orlando City's team was tackling his dad, and was determined to let his anger out. So during this kickabout, he wasn't messing around. While his other brothers were playing and trying to have fun, Ciro wanted to let off steam, so he went on a crazy charge towards goal. And that's when he saw the one thing that pissed him off the most, an Orlando City toy mascot. And Ciro wasn't having it. He still hadn't gotten over the game. And now some fan had thrown an Orlando City mascot into the Inter Miami pitch, and this got Ciro really pissed. In fact, he was so mad that he left the ball and did this. That kid wasn't playing games. Wonder what his reaction would have been if he came across an Orlando City fan on his way home. He could have punched them because that kick looked brutal. Ciro's just looking out for his dad, and it's clear from all this that Ciro would immediately hate on anyone who tries to mess with his dad. But what that also means is that in the near future, it's gonna be a sibling rivalry in the Messis. Because while Ciro loves his dad, Matteo hates him, and even has his dad calling him a son of a bitch on live TV. All because of one crazy event. Click the next video to find out the day Matteo Messi shocked the football world.